Welcome to the Brickstore Museum's Propaganda Piece, a web series talking about the 20th century war propaganda posters in our collection and the effects of propaganda yesterday and today. The Brickstore Museum's collection of World War I and World War II posters is one of the largest in New England. During World Wars I and II, propaganda was distributed through print and radio and later movies. Messaging mostly aimed to increase public support for the wars and boost morale at home. Some people are surprised to hear that many war posters aren't propaganda at all. The definition of propaganda is this: the dissemination of information, especially of a biased or misleading nature, to influence public opinion or promote a political cause or point of view, often conveyed through mass media. The intentional shaping of public opinion has existed for thousands of years. Propaganda is the systematic manipulation of other people's beliefs, attitudes, and actions using symbols that include words, gestures, art, or music, and anyone, individuals, governments, organizations, or groups, can practice propaganda when they deliberately select facts and symbols to influence masses toward an end goal. To maximize effects of their message, propagandists omit or distort other pertinent facts, or sometimes even lie. In the 20th century, propaganda took a widespread and central role in our history. When you think of propaganda, you may think of Nazi Germany in the 1940s or George Orwell's novel 1984. You might not think of how the United States also took part in this practice. As we explore today's poster, ask yourself, is this good or bad propaganda? The intent behind propaganda is not all bad or all good. But because propaganda most often is affiliated with war and politics, it is generally viewed as negative. But it can be neutral or even positive. In fact, after World War II, the advertising industry rebranded propaganda as public relations, focusing on how consumers were motivated to buy products. Speaking about propaganda, John F. Kennedy once said, "No matter how big the lie, repeat it often enough, and the masses will regard it as the truth." Throughout history, propaganda has been used to manipulate and deceive the masses, suppress dissent, and maintain control over populations. In the 21st century, propaganda's new conduit is the internet. Anyone can create propaganda and post it online. Here are just a few examples. No longer is widespread messaging only created by officials or politicians, but by supporters of various ideas. In this age of social media, disseminating ideas is easier and more widespread than ever before. Quote unquote fake news or disinformation is on the rise. How often do you scroll your own social media, receive a meme from a friend, or watch a video that carries a single message or idea? Can you tell the difference between truth and opinion and propaganda? Hello, I'm Cynthia Walker, your narrator today and the director of the Brickstore Museum. Seen here in this picture is The Art of Propaganda, one of our most recent exhibitions in fall 2024. Propaganda posters during both World Wars were an essential tool for disseminating information. They were relatively cheap to produce and could be plastered anywhere, from post offices to schools to sides of buildings. Many posters tugged at Americans' heartstrings with depictions of soldiers and their families, while others appealed to the population's sense of outrage by reminding viewers of the brutality of enemies. Some aimed to generate a sense of guilt or inspire fear. Still others encouraged seemingly harmless topics like reading or gardening. Now, let's take a look at today's featured poster. Today we're going to look at a poster called "Tell That to the Marines," which was created in 1917 by artist James Montgomery Flagg, who was most well known for creating the "I Want You for the U.S. Army Uncle Sam" poster. Flagg lived in New York City but spent summers at his home in Biddeford Pool, Maine. In 1804, "Tell it to the Marines because the sailors won't believe you" was a popular saying in England, implicating that the Royal Marines were gullible. However, in America, this saying acquired a second meaning, especially after a 1926 film called "Tell It to the Marines" showed Marines as tough fighters. This World War I era poster shows an enraged civilian throwing off his suit jacket, ready to fight, after reading the headline, Huns Kill Women and Children. As a note, the word Hun, Hun, was a derogatory and offensive term used in the 20th century to describe German people. On its surface, this poster calls to all American males looking to protect their families to join the military and fight, playing on traditional gender roles as a way to convince young men to become soldiers. Subtly, though, this poster holds another message, too. Throughout the 18th and early 19th centuries, help wanted signs reading, "No Irish need apply," Catholic churches being burned or run out of town, including here in Maine, and a public belief that the Irish brought with them disease and crime pushed anti-Irish discrimination to its high point in the United States. The man depicted in this poster has bright orange hair. At the time, a signal to people of Irish descent that this poster was talking to them. By 1910, there were more Irish people in New York City than in Dublin, Ireland. This massive immigrant group, often depicted as fighting in the street in newspaper cartoons, was now front and center on a recruitment poster.